drawing a pop can, we want to start with understanding the dimensions of a pop can. To do that, we should always have the pop can set in front of us. Pop cans always have a rounded top, but when we're looking at them in a drawing, they're often oval. We also see there's a slight ridge on the top of our can. Our can also has a ridge that comes outwards on either side. And then they go completely down. Looks almost like a rectangle. Comes all the way down on our page. The bottom of our pop can has a little lip that flows in. There's the base with a slightly rounded edge, assuming that the other side of the pop can is somewhere here. So we have another oval, but we don't draw the other side of it because we can't see it. That ridge comes down on the bottom, and there's a little foot, and again it's rounded on the bottom. Now many kids, when they draw the top of their can, they forget to draw the back details, making sure to have some of those edges. Take your time to draw yours. There's also some other cool details. You can't see the whole top of the tab, but you can see the top where it opens, and it looks something like this. So as you can see, our can is set up so that it has a rectangle. A lot of students, when they draw for the first time, and I ask them to draw the labeling on the can, they often start with just writing the words and filling them in black. So for example, a student might go C-O-C. I tell them that the truth is that is a larger C than it looks. Holding your pop can in front of you, you don't even see all of the labeling. In fact, part of the C is missing on the outer edge. When you're doing it, you also want it to look thicker. So you're going to add your section for your C. Notice how that's thicker and not just one line like the top. And the Coke symbol, or the C symbol, comes down. I can't see the back end of it, so I don't draw it. I also notice that the symbol for Coke has that rounded edge on the top passing through where the top C is and coming down. Something like this. Again, don't forget you can edit as you go. If you draw light enough, I'm going to continue drawing. I might just show myself roughly where this thing lies. See, so that I can go back over it after and make sure that I space it correctly on my can. Alright, let's begin making those thicker. Right now we're just practicing to draw. It doesn't have to be perfect. Take your time to go slowly. I make mistakes all the time, and I often have to erase. There's also other words like zero, sugar, sucre. I can put all that in there as well. Now, I could tell that I have more space on the bottom and I didn't allocate for enough room. That means I need to edit my pop can slightly. Told you I make mistakes. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. The line comes down, pop can comes to here, and we're gonna go to about right there. Now I've left enough room. Also, the difference between the Coca-Cola label and the zero sugar is that the zero sugar is shaded in darker. This is always going to be in our sketchbooks. These are our practice drawings. Also, the background over here is darker. We also could draw out the 0 calorie. I'm not giving myself a lot of room, but you get the picture. Now when we shade our pop can, there are a lot of shiny places, a lot of bright places where our highlights are, dark places, places where the low tones are, and each range of colors has those different values. You want to take the time to look at your pop can and shade it. I'm not going to do a full shading of this right now. I'm just going to quickly give myself some values and different things. This is always going to be in our sketchbooks. These are our practice drawings. The next part of this is after drawing your pop can, quickly making sure to practice a little bit of the label, I want you to do something kind of fun. We're going to squish our pop can carefully to make it look a bit more abstract. Might even have a little bit more fun. Try not to pop or scrunch it too much. Now find different angles to draw this pop can, taking note that this can looks completely different than this one. Now you're going to follow the different lined edges of the creases. So for example, you might draw the top part, it comes down, but then this part right here, it comes in. So we're going to see something that kind of goes like this and then comes out again. Also, the back line here is straight. Don't worry right now about the label. Draw just the shapes that you see within the can. When you're done drawing sort of the outline and the details, you can now try to attempt to see what type of labeling and how it is visible to you. So for example, with the C, I do not see very much of it anymore. In fact, I just see a crinkled line for this right here with a little part there. That's it. On this O, it's on an angle now, and it goes like this. If your piece had its label going completely across perfectly, I would say it would look wrong now. Because your pop can is scrunched, we would not see those definitions of those labels correctly anymore. Here's an example of the way the U looks, and now I only see a little part of this. It's kind of scrunched. Drawing just what you see is part of seeing as an artist. These are not detailed drawings, they are just practice drawings. In your sketchbook, you want to draw different pop cans, scrunched up for practice. Don't worry about it being too detailed. Give yourself a couple examples and try different angles holding your pop can in different directions. You might draw it this way, this way, this way, from like this, straight up. Change the angles so that you have different examples. Try to do 3 to 4 different ones. Once you're ready, pick your favorite pop can to practice shading. This is where you're going to add all your values from lightest to darkest within your scene. We're going to do this on a larger paper, but let's practice it quickly on a smaller version. If we have full range, the very first value I want to add to my entire pop can is a midtone. Carefully draw a midtone over your entire pop can. My pop can, I know, is not white. Therefore, it has a midtone. Let me remind you, the midtone is the middle value between the lightest and the darkest. Try to make your pencil lead smooth and consistent throughout your entire page. If you lose some of your drawing, you can always go back and darken the lines. In this case, I'm going to go over some of those lines that are missing. If something is completely lost, like your outer edge, make sure to redraw it. And And in my pop can, there are definitely areas that are darker than others. Making sure those places that I draw are darker, I'm going to darken them. And I'm using my 4B pencil to do it. You can use your 6B. Any place within your pop can that's darker in shadow, create that tone within there. Don't worry about anything that is supposed to be white, because later you can use your eraser to erase out where it is white. So for example, the Coca-Cola part. Sometimes I first like to blend with my finger so that it all looks smooth. Not all parts of the Coca-Cola symbol stand out as really white anymore. Some of them are a little less white and in shadow. When that's the case, after you've made a part bright, you can smooth it out. I want to make sure that some of my details are in there. There's a lot of areas on our pop can that are very bright and have shiny spots. For those spots, we're going to use our eraser and erase out the highlights. These are the brightest spots on the pop can where the light is hitting it directly and it's shining really bright. Now my pop can's starting to look a little bit more realistic. Also, when I set my pop can down by a light source like this, I can see that I have a shadow that comes out and around. You want to include that when your pop can is sitting, that my shadow comes out and around. That's where it's going to sit and be in shadow. Now this is just an example of one of my sketches. It was done quite quickly, but notice how it includes highlights, midtones, low tones, and even a cast shadow. You will want to do this as practice before attempting your good copy. You can choose your best sketch as a starting point. That will help with your accuracy. Then on a larger piece of paper, draw out your abstract pop can and add the values to it. When you're done, design a creative background to really make your piece pop. Here are some examples. And there you have it. Hope you had fun learning my tutorial on how to draw a pop can. Good luck drawing yours. Don't forget, make sure to create an interesting background for it to really pop.